I want to show you how I built my DIY cosplay garage that I've been building for about 3 years in this very video, so sit back and enjoy. So I would say this is my first station, my base station. This is where I spend most of my time. I do all my sanding and paint mixing and a lot of other stuff like cutting metal or, adding paint tape, filing, using the heat gun, using the Dremel, using the hot gun. Most of the work is being done here, and this station keeps changing all the time because as you can see, this is like a standard sized pegboard and it's not very big. I don't have a lot of space, which I will cover in a second, but I make sure that everything that is on this pegboard is the things that I use most of the time. So that's why I keep changing it, because I still see like, oh, this tool, I don't use it so often, so I change it out and I add something that is of more value to me. And I'm gonna show it to you up and close, but I just want to give you a brief overview of this very first station here. This is a movable table. Hold on, we need some power. Actually, I have smart power set up here in this garage. So this table does move up and down, and it has two presets. One is for working standing, one is for working sitting, because I find that when you stand for 4 hours sanding your print, it does get tiring. So if it's clean, I will sit down here. I have a little chair here that I can pull out, and then I can also sit down, which is very nice, I would say. It's not super sturdy, but it doesn't need to be. So then what do we have? I talked about the pegboard already. There's a lot of items on there that I will cover. I have this thing to heat up water. I usually use this one, and then I will put it into here, and then I will put in there a spray can. Because if you warm up spray cans, they tend to spray better, they tend to mix better. So I leave them in there for about a minute, and then I will shake them up using this tool, and then adding this tool. See, if I put a cup in there, it's gonna spin. You see, this is like a little movable, like a holder for whatever you want to do. We have a paint mixer. This is amazing. This is a paint mixer by Onilab. This mixes your paint perfectly. I use it all the time. Here are some magnets. They usually go into my second room. Here we have the power strip. It's a big power strip, which you can see also has this smart powering system. It's the white block you see there. And that's pretty much everything that you need is either in here or in here, and it all draws from the same power source, unfortunately. It all draws from here. So I can control this via an app. And if I use the app, I can turn off the entire electricity in my workshop, or turn it on, or turn printers on and off. But yeah, anyways. So let's start from the left. This is all 3D printed, at least most of it was. This is a Dremel, the heat gun, and then we have some files. I like those little files for 3D prints, and they're all labeled too. And then we have some sandpaper for my Proxon sander, and some things to clean and some things to weld plastic parts together with a welding gun, and some clippers, and there's some hot glue and some brushes to clean paint guns and stuff. Then we have more paint gun setups, which is used for airbrush mixing. More files, some screwdriver stuff, some bits, and some model making stuff, some brushes, hot gun. We have, of course, nitrile gloves, and then some tape, very good tape. If you're in Germany, buy the Stork tapes. It's really good. My paint sensei recommended to me. Zero brand props. Tamiya paints, also very good. Comes in different sizes, as you can see, different diameters. And I like this flexible white one here. I don't know the brand anymore, but it's also very nice. Electrical tapes, the black one you see in the front. And then here we have some more Dremel attachments. I don't use these too often, mostly because I find the Dremels too aggressive for most things. A scissor, a brush, and a UV light to cure UV prints. And then we have some more sandpaper stuff, some sponges, some big sponges. You see a soldering iron. I use this for welding plastic prints together. And then we have some filters, which I don't really use anymore because I use different ones. And some coffee stirrers. I use those for airbrush paints. I basically break them in the middle, so I have double the amount. So I have 4,000 pieces. And then I will mix them in here in those little plastic cups. And then I'm using this to get the paint out and to, you know, sometimes when you get some bad bottles, you want to use this to be precise with grabbing paint and not making a mess. Now, what do we have here? We have another power source and we have some air, which is being split up. This goes into the compressor. You can follow the blue hose. It goes into my compressor here. It's a 50-liter compressor, and it's pretty good. It's a German brand. It's a Stahlwerk. I think it's 510 Pro. I'm pretty sure it is ST 510 Pro. And I also have a splitter here, and I use one to regulate just air, because you just need air sometimes to clean up stuff, you know, or to fill up your car in that orange case, I would say. And then we have here the air that is used for painting. So the bottom hose, the small one, feeds into my airbrush. I have 2 airbrushes I use. Most of the time I only use this, Mr. Hobby. And then we have the other one, which goes into our painting station / tent. Safety PPE, important. We have some full masks for painting clear and stuff, and painting 2K primer. Dräger is a very good brand. It's actually, it's glass even, and it has high quality rubbers. This thing will stay with me for many, many years. This one is a little bit cheaper. As you can tell, it's more standard, more plastic. But yeah, default mask, this type of mask, I'm sure you've all seen it during COVID. I use this for sanding. And then we have some safety glasses, and then a hat from Porfish, which makes these awesome paint guns. Let's actually talk about paint. So let's start with organizing paints first. I had this. I made this with 3D printing, and it's okay. I mean, you can see it's not the best, which is why I was planning to making a new system. But I didn't actually have the time to finish it yet. Yeah, I wanted to have them lay down and at an angle and cut those angle pieces, but I didn't manage to do it yet. There's some sandpaper. We always need a lot of sandpaper. I think this is 3M, 100 grit, and 240 grit or something. Some test spoons, which I always write on the front what it is. It's clear coat, and those are black anyway, so this is only clear. And then we have fresh spoons. More paint talk. This is to hold pieces when you're painting them, and you can attach them on those wood grips. And there are some big ones too. I use hot glue most of the time. Or I use these 3M double-sided tape things. They are also very good, but they are very sticky. Some gloves, if you're mixing and cleaning out toxic paints and stuff, it's important to have those. Those are really nice, much better than nitrile, because they won't break. They won't let anything on your bare skin, basically. Okay, here we have more sandpaper, we have sponges, we have superfine sponges, we have Trizec sponges, we have those things. I've been going through a lot of sandpaper, and I like some of those soft ones. I like those 3M ones. They're like super soft. You can clean them, use them multiple times. And there's my organizer. I don't know if you can see, but there are some numbers on there, which sandpaper goes into where. And there's a small mini detail sander even. It's called this Bay. This is cool if you have a really tight space. You can see it comes with these super tiny attachments. Now, this is pretty expensive. This is a Festool run remover tool, I would call it, for automotive industry. So what happens is when you're shooting clear, 2K clear, and you have a run, you can scratch it off with this. As most of the things from Festool, it's pretty good, but it's pretty expensive. Now here, this is worth talking about. Also, thank you to my paint sensei. Zero brand props. This is 2K uni polyester Spachtel. So this is a 2-part filler, which is amazing because it will fill any gaps if you have to connect 3D prints or have really rough areas. Okay, now we have, very important for painting, right? We have more masking tape. We have a PPS system. I didn't use it yet because I don't like using disposable cups yet. We have those little paper cups to clean nozzles and stuff. We have those blue things. Those are basically gloves that go all over your arm. If you're shooting clear or anything where you're shooting way over your prop, which happens often in the paint booth, then you're safe. We have mixing cups, mixed by weight and ratio. We have filters. We have tech cloths, which I don't really use. Kind of gives me more problems than helping. And then we have some silicone remover, which is good for cleaning the parts. And we have a sanding block, also made to remove runs. Okay, next up, let's talk about lighting. This is like a video lamp I just set up here, and this is a ring light, and you see that the tolerance is very tight. And also there's a fan which is connected to the paint booth to remove all the toxic shit and goes out through the garage door. I'm going to show you how I do it. Its system is used using a magnet here, and there's a magnet inside. You can turn the entire paint booth on, and now you hear it's going out. Before I show you the paint booth though, this is another station with some cleaners. I got House of Color Kisei 10, which I like to clean parts because it dries so quickly. And there's some nitro thinner, very important to get paint off of everything that you mispainted really quickly. There's some cleaner for your hands, Fast Orange it's called, very good for cleaning your hands. We got some thinner for airbrush paints. Yeah, as you have seen, most of my airbrush paints are inside there or in this turntable thing which I made. Glass cleaner, also good to make your own airbrush thinner, by the way. And we got water, and we got some spare parts for the pegboard, and we got car cleaner and some test prints. I got a mold there which is pretty bad. It's from the Mando hip plates. It's not the best. Some containers, you know, a little heater for the winter, which I use to keep it kind of warm. And trash. We love me some trash. And more trash. We got this rack for placing items, placing painted parts and stuff. You see there's a Tangen blade, which I did not finish yet. It's all over the place. So, before we go, I just want to quickly say, this is an amazing clear gun. It's the Porfis 717. And this is what I use for 2K primer. It's an A610. It's something like a R500. It's pretty cheap, but it's actually quite nice. Now this is my DIY paint booth. It's a grow tent. Many people have done this before. I recently had to install new lights because I think maybe those one were too cheap and got too much fumes inside, and then they stopped working. Another rack, and there's a hose coming from the compressor, and yeah, you can basically power up your air vent right there. If you turn it, air will start to pull out and go through this double stage filter. This is cardboard, and behind there's another filter set. And this wooden frame is just something that I built to place those filters inside. And you see some things to hang stuff, because sometimes you need to hang props to paint. I like how the fisheye is making me look super weird and unproportional. It looks so weird. Okay, anyways, this is the second station, I would call it, or maybe third station, or whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. So this is very messy many times, because I'm kind of running out of space, but this is a 3D print station, and this is basically a table area to clean parts, curing parts, 3D printing. There's a lot of storage down there of 2K clears, 2K primers, and then some random storage from our home, you know, which we don't have any other place to put it. We have some self-built drying boxes for storing filament. I have a lot of filament on my hands recently and a lot of resin, which I will show. It's basically all up here. It's a whole nother shelf I will show. And yeah, it's very tight space, but I'm gonna show you closer now. Also, by the way, if anyone wants this, just send a YouTube comment. I will just ship it out. I'm not joking. Let's start with a 3D printing station. There's a Wash and Cure Plus, so this is a Saturn II. Kind of happy with it, kind of not. Sometimes I hate it, sometimes I think it's okay. But for what I do, it needs to be a little bit bigger. But that's what she said, and also I do not have the money right now. This is nitrile gloves box. It's really nice. Just only problem, it doesn't fit, but it's really nice. Now here we have the P1S with some drying filament system that I made. Actually, I just printed it. I didn't design it or anything. I can't design for shit. It's a nice printer. Only thing I hate is this pop shoot shit. I should have figured out a better workaround for this problem. Maybe shoot it out the back and put it in a bin immediately, because I have this bin here to put all the plastic shit in, and it's pretty annoying. But yeah, anyways, so here is a table where I'm cleaning the prints. This is all isopropanol, different containers. And then we have here the original Saturn Wash and Cure Plus washing container. So what happens is, I wash once or twice, and then I wash it in here, so I don't have to change it out so often, right? So I would suggest not just using a one-stage cleaning solution, do at least 2 or 3. I mean, not much to say about the print or anything else, right? You just print and it kind of works. There's some stuff, you know, Genshin Impact Sword I never finished. I never started, actually. Oh yeah, I forgot the table. Here's some equipment that you need for resin printing, a file, and some stuff for the paint guns. Some more paint gun accessories and a mirror. Alright. Oh, there's a 3D print I didn't even start yet. Shit. Okay, so some stuff here to refill. All of this is pretty much refilling. Okay, sorry, my battery died, so I will have to record the rest with my phone. So, as I said, filament, right? We have a rack, some cutting stuff. We have isopropanol and acetone. Always need that. We have some 3D printer stuff and just, you know, spare things. Spare filters, PPE. some good hot glue and stuff. And then here we have for drying silica gel in your filament dryer, which is this. So that's pretty cool. You can just reuse your silica gel, you don't have to buy new ones. I had some finished prints in here, some ready to paint or almost painted stuff. And even more refills. So here we have more spoons, more paper cups to clean your gun, towels and empty spools. And here we have a microwave, which I used for heating up clear, because if you warm up your clear, it shoots better through your gun. It changes the viscosity, and it's should be a nicer paint job. Only thing is, this is used, and it's dirty, and I didn't clean it properly, so it ruined my entire paint job, and I had to start all over again. Copic inks, beautiful for making wood type paint effects, and some other random shit. Painting tests. I still use spoons to do painting tests because it's cheaper. Cheaper than using speed shapes. I mean, there are some speed shapes, but I usually use spoons. Even more spoons. Okay, there's some mold making stuff, some silicone, glycerin for like, you know, smoke effects. And here we have a ton of resin. I do a lot of resin printing. Some are silicone products by Smooth On, some painting products. A good tip from my paint sensei: if you use Spectrum, it's very cheap and you can get matte varnish and a matte black for very, very, very cheap. This is for my paper roll holder. This is pretty cool. It weighs it down, and then you can just easily get some paper towels. And there's another paint gun I don't use anymore, and some ball. It was a helmet holder. I don't use it. And some spare parts, and there are some dowels, metal dowels and stuff for making helmet stands or reinforcing 3D prints. And graphite and more spare parts and some polymaker filament. Here a lot of speed shapes also, and some finished cosplay parts, or let's say decently finished cosplay parts. And this is important for polishing. There are some polishing products. The Mosana, I like them. And there we have some stuff which is in a box, so it doesn't get too dusty. This is like clean towels and clean polishing pads. You can see there's a lot of dust on top of it, and this would all land on those racks if I didn't have this in a box. And then this way it's nice and safe, and it's good to go. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done. Oh yeah, one more thing about the Saturn II. I have a heater. This is a belt heater, which I put around the Saturn. And I have all of this on smart control, so I can turn it on and off. And the way I've set it up, I can show you. Sorry, I forgot to show this earlier, but there's the belt. You see inside the belt? It goes around, and this connects to here. It gets warm, and resin needs to be warm. And in winter, this is a problem especially. So this will turn on, stay on for 10 minutes, turn off for 5 minutes, stay on for 10 minutes, turn off for 5, or however you feel like doing it, you know. And this is how I do it, and now you can pretty much print in winter with any resin printer, and I think this belt is about 20 euros. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. One last thing I want to show you. This is another wall. I use this for power tools mainly. You can see there's a plastic welding gun I use, and some power tools, a coat if you're painting, and some more power tools, another paint gun I use, and yeah, some clamps and stuff, a saw. So yeah, this is what I use for my power tools mainly. Okay, now we are back outside, and this is the garage, and this is another little thing I have. It's for curing big prints. You can place a resin print on the bottom on a mat and cure it that way, and there we have some fucked up paints. Oh, and back there I have old resin, which will stay here for weeks and let the resin settle to the bottom, and then I can reuse it, you know, cure it and reuse it, and it will work. Okay, I know I'm all over the place, but I keep finding things I want to talk about. So if you're in Germany and you want to get cheap sandpaper, that's pretty cheap. And it's wet or dry. Take the wet or dry because it stays longer without being clogged up. So take the wet or dry. And also, if you're using an airbrush, get yourself those squeegee bottles. Here's some thinner, here's distilled water, and here's my self-made airbrush cleaner. And this being ready to go makes it simple. You know, you can just clean out your airbrush like that and then keep going. And this thing on the bottom you can put in a towel and use as a waste cup. So this is my office slash another crafting room. And this is where I do most of my electronics and some finishing touches. And I'm gonna show you around the room and show you some of the things that I have on display, which I already finished, and explain you why it is the way it is.
Good house.
So this is my table that I built together. It's just 4 random legs and a little wooden plate. And as you can see, there's a lot of mess on it, as it usually is. This is the Tangen blade that I showed in the workshop already, and the Mark 7 by James Levy, which I did not yet finish. The paint job is nice. The red is a little bit too dark, but yeah, I will want to finish it at some point. And here we have electronics, all of those test prints and electronics for the helmet. Here's some magnets. I use those to connect most 3D prints or helmets because most of the time they come with magnetic attachments. Here you can see this actually very good on this Marvel Rivals Winter Soldier arm. It is all magnetically attached. I can remove some pieces, just gotta be a little bit careful, but if I take it out, you can see that the magnets are attached just like here, and even the big chonker here, it's all attached with magnets. So this is a great way, but if you want to make sure it doesn't fall off, you should also attach some elastics. But as it is right now, it's actually pretty good. I even wore it and it works. So yeah, we have this cutting mat, right? Just if I'm cutting something or gluing or whatever, I don't want it to be on the table. And here we have power. They're both turned on, and you can plug in USB, you can plug in any normal power sockets. And basically everything is connected to here. We have a little hot glue gun. It's small, but it heats up very quickly. But I wouldn't really recommend it because you just press it down once and you have to put in new hot glue sticks all the time. We have some air. This is a normal air duster. because I don't have a compressor up here too. We have the soldering station with some solder and just a normal regular soldering station, nothing too crazy. And here we have some wires, you know, attached to a Gridfinity base plate. And if you need some wires, you could just pull it out. And here we have, scheiße, wie heißt das Ding? Here we have some electricity. I do not know the English word for this item. It's a Labornetzteil. That's how we call it in Germany. You know how these things work. You put in volts or amps or whatever, and it gives out power, so you can test your power circuit or test whatever you want to test. This is just a little bin to remove supports. And here's my Back to the Future clock, which you cannot see in daytime because the LEDs are not bright enough, but it's kind of cool. But yeah, you can't see any of the cool LED effects right now. Okay, let's go to the bottom. The first item is this drawer. I got all of the parts pretty cheap and used in most cases, even in my garage. I don't try to spend a lot of money. So I labeled this projects. So here we have ongoing projects and some glue and those little hot glue gun sticks. And just some things that I am working on or was working on, or some spare parts as of right now. Then we have the light section. This is NeoPixels, this is light strips, this is LED eyes, UV LEDs, just a bunch of lights to put into your cosplay. And here we have miscellaneous, how's it called? Misc. So just some random stuff I couldn't sort. Like a big ass Counter-Strike knife. Some tsubas for making katanas, for making the handle wrapping. Some purse clamp magnets, which I use to attach cosplay parts. And just some random stuff, you know, things I didn't really get sorted. Now, on the bottom, there's another shelf, and it holds random stuff at the moment. There's some cooking stuff and just some boxes and some spare parts and lightsaber electronics, 3D electronics, some lights, random stuff. Moving on, we got our photo box. This is a rather cheap photo booth. You can film inside for a second. You can see there's a turnable, like a turntable. It's electronic. It uses batteries, and I fixed it onto the bottom ground so it doesn't move around. You can adjust the lights, and you can even go and take pictures from up top, because on the top you can remove this lid and take pictures like that as well. Then we have my Werkzeugkasten, my toolbox. These are some tools that I use, just what a toolbox is. It's not too important. It is really important. I use it every day, but it's not important to show. This is the window that goes outside. I'm not opening that, but here we have the table, which is just my desk. I have 3 monitors and everything you need for streaming or doing video editing or gaming. It's all in one station, basically. I even have a little edit mouse here and the gaming mouse, and you see there are 2 cameras. One is inside of the hand of my wife right now, which goes here, and the other one is right there to have 2 camera setups for streaming. Here,
some beautiful stickers made by my wife.
Yeah, and beautiful stickers made by my wife. My headphones. And then we have a little sunlight lamp, another 3D print that I finished. It's kind of wobbly on the stand right now. It's the Mark 85. It sits on the station, but right now it's kind of wobbly. Okay, another little drawer. We have a very small screwdriver set and, a scissor and some random stuff. Like on the bottom, a very little toolbox, a tiny toolbox with some of my cards inside and just some stuff. There's a lot of 3D printed stuff I did for decoration. like the Street Fighter sign, the Valorant sign. And yeah, this is me as a little child. This is actually awesome. And some other stuff, you know, figurines and Goku doing the Genki Dama. And yeah, this is Mando I am working on right now. This is the second time I'm doing Mando, and it's got a lot of things I need to redo and a lot of flaws. But I am still working on it. I'm working on it forever actually, because I want it to be really, really nice. It's not done yet. Plus I have to redo some things. In the corner here we have some double-sided tape. The 3M ones are very good. And we have some other tapes, you know, you use for crafting and for electronics. And then here we have, important but overlooked by many, a fire extinguisher. You need this if you do a lot of electronics and 3D printing inside your house, in my opinion. It's good to have. It's not expensive and better safe than sorry. And here we have just some more stuff. I'm not gonna go over what's inside of it because it's already messy, but this is kind of my painting drawer. There's a lot of paints and utilities for weathering. There's some Mod Podge, some Fuller's Earth powder, which is nice for weathering, and oil-based paints and more other stuff. We have a refill box here, like for batteries and other things that need to be refilled, because I'm a fan of not keeping all the things in one space and then it's getting cluttered and full. You need a dedicated space to put spare parts, so once you need them again, you can just grab them from there, and that makes everything more organized, in my opinion. And then we have attachments. So here we have Velcro and magnets and other stuff, buckles to attach cosplay pieces to your body and attach armor parts. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. This is my spray can organizer. I don't store all my spray cans in there anymore, because some of them I have in my garage downstairs, but it's a nice way to sort some paints. As you see, I bought a ton of Plastidip. It's called Gummidip. It's basically German Plastidip. Many people use these for EVA foam, but I don't do any EVA foam. I only did it once, and I didn't like the inaccuracy, so I have like 6 of them. So if you need any, just let me know. And then we have here, which I forgot to mention, my lightsabers. This is the Darksaber for the Mandalorian cosplay. And this is Kylo Ren's lightsaber, because I also have a Kylo Ren cosplay. And those are very, very nice. I did not make them myself. I'm about to make a lightsaber myself, but those I bought. They were pretty expensive, but they're also very nice. Okay, let's move over some stuff here. A lot of finished pieces. I would say the one I'm most happy with at the moment is the Captain America helmet. It also got a little electronic bar inside. If you can film inside the helmet, you can see some electronic parts. This is only for the light in the front, and everything magnetically goes together and the light will light up. It's pretty nice. And some other stuff from Marvel Rivals. I did a lot of Marvel Rivals at the moment, but I also did the Mandalorian blaster finally, which I think is really nice. Turned out great. The wood looks realistically, I would say. Maybe a little bit too dark, but yeah, I like it. Those are the things I am the most proud of at the moment, I would say. And then, yeah, we got those little Demon Slayer figures we got from Japan. It's kind of cute. Okay, and here we also have something which I did not learn yet, and somebody's gotta teach me, and by somebody I mean Gemini. We have a sewing machine. I'm afraid to sew, and I don't understand sewing. When I just look at all the symbols, I'm terrified. Looks like horror to me. Like, what even is this? This looks way too complicated. So I'm moving that in the corner, and it will stay there until we move out, and I will probably not learn it. but I want to at some time. Okay, and here we have a little Street Fighter arcade machine where you can play against each other. This is not usually on, but as I'm showing my room, it's kind of cool to have it now. And I think, oh no, wait. Important thing. I love these kind of Frankenstein style, maybe 30 or 40s inspired posters. This is Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. It's a game series I love. I think those are very stylish. And we have the Halo gun that I made. It's a Nerf gun and I repainted it and I redid all the electronics. It's up there. And I think that's it. So those are the 2 rooms I use. There's a lot of stuff I want to improve, but we will do that when we move into the new house. And there's a big workshop that I'm gonna be making. And yeah, like for instance, I use a lot of Gridfinity, right? Oh shit, I haven't even shown this yet. This is my under desk drawer. This is an IKEA drawer. And we put in a lot of Gridfinity. Gridfinity, they use the same bins, and you can label them and you can organize everything. And this is all for soldering. This is all for power, like batteries and stuff. And it's named, you know, it's labeled, and everything has a nice place to fit. And if you want to charge up your batteries, you can just use this to charge them up and then put them back inside here. And here we have some tools. This doesn't fit perfectly, but some tools. More electronic parts. And this was a bunch of work. So you see on the bottom there's this white base plate, and you can just put those cases in there, and you can remove everything and put it in a new order and organize everything. More electronic parts. You see, everything is nicely labeled. This took me, I think, a good 1 or 2 weeks to figure everything out. But it's worth it. I really like it. It's organized. I'm German, so it fits. And also, I forgot to show something about the table. This is for soldering. I can put on a light, and I can put on a fan to extract the soldering fumes. And if I don't need it, I just turn it off and place it down again. And here we have screws, everything with Gridfinity, nicely organized, nicely labeled, which is amazing. If you find a screw and you don't know where to put it, you can film on close here. You see, you can put in a screw and check out the length and the diameter, and then you know where it goes. So this is a tester. This is a screw tester to figure out diameter and length. And then you can organize it and put it somewhere where it fits. And another one. We have this one. I didn't get to actually Gridfinity it out. I have the base plates on the bottom, as you can see. But everything, this is all I need for soldering, clipping, and then yeah, some more wires, activator and flux paste and stuff. So this is all that goes there. So that's it. I want to thank you for watching. There are some things I want to improve on, and I will do that in my next workshop where I have a bigger space. For instance, getting sturdy tables and having more drawers and not going so super cheap on everything. Because over time, you open up a drawer and it doesn't really work or something, you get annoyed. And I want to change that. I want to get a little bit more quality into it and put out a little bit more quality as likewise. And that will help make me enjoy this more than I already do. Yeah, as I said, thank you for watching, and I want to thank some people. I want to thank my sensei Zero Brand Props for helping me with everything paint and also buy his chrome. It's really nice. I want to thank Bia and Bea and Gemini and Sarah for keeping me motivated, and I like the exchange about cosplay and about our passion. And I want to thank, of course, last but not least, my wife for putting up with me and giving me all the space I need, because the entire garage is basically, all of it is just my place, except for her little bike. And yeah, I'm thankful for that. So thank you, everybody, and goodbye.